All right, guys, this might get a little bit spicy. Yeah, we might get a little spicy. Today, we're going to talk about the fine line between whiskey collecting and obsession. Let's get into it. All right, hold on to your butts. We're about to go deep. No, I wanted to talk about this for a minute, and I finally got the huevos enough to do it. There is something to be said about collecting whiskey and it turning into a thing. But before we get into that, we're going to do something else as we're talking about these things. Not that I can multitask at all, right? But we are going to do a blind sample challenge that was sent to me by Brian over at the Chill Filter podcast. He sent over these little sample bottles, and they have painter's tape on them, and one of them says Rye Blind number 1. So obviously this is a rye blind. I'm hoping there's not a bunch of bourbon in here. You know, that would be kind of counterintuitive of a blind. So I'm going to do this the same way I would do it for Germ's Blind Challenge Showdown. Here's number 2. And I'm going to do it. The only thing that I will not even record, or maybe I will, I already know the type of whiskey, right? I know it's a rye whiskey, which is fine. That will be fine. It smells good already. Number 3, there's 4 samples, just to let you know. Like I said, I can't multitask, so you're just going to have to hold on until I get these son of a guns poured. And so I'm going to rate them the same way I do on Germs. Type, proof, casking, both general and exact. And then I will do a bottle and distillery guess. So we'll see what happens. I really need to work on my, that last one is strong and dark, the way I like it. No. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk a little bit, and then, kind of like the last episode, I was doing something similar to that. So I have notes. And for some reason, the printer printed front and back. Whatever. So, like I said, I wanted to talk about this, and the fine line between having a whiskey collection and having a whiskey obsession. Now, why would I want to talk about this topic? Well, as you well know, I have acquired a number of bottles over the years, and I'm having to build shelving for them. They're becoming a thing. And I thought, is this a thing? Is this do whiskey people go through this stuff? Is this something that we need to talk about? I think it is. And my experience with whiskey collecting is just that. And I did write, bullet points for me to talk about so I can stay on topic, because as you guys well know, it gets a little crazy in the house sometimes. The house meaning my head, right? My personal experience. Okay, let's get back to that. When I first got into whiskey, I was wanting to try all different types of whiskey. I knew that because I came from a background of drinking Crown, and then I decided, okay, well, everybody else drinks bourbon, right? So I'm going to drink bourbon. So I tried some different bourbons, Wild Turkey and, Evan Williams and all the ones, right? And they sat. And so I had a table, which I still have that same table. I need to refinish it because the whiskey has dribbled onto the table and destroyed the finish. That's a whiskey foul. But anyway, so I started not collecting whiskeys, but I started buying whiskeys. Like I would normally just go and buy one bottle and be done. Whereas then I started picking up, and they were very budget friendly bottles, right? We're talking Evan Williams bottled in bond and Wild Turkey 101 and things like that. And then when we would go out to dinner, I would have an old fashioned with a different whiskey. You know what I mean? To get profile. And obviously in an old fashioned, you're not going to get the true form of the whiskey, right? We know that. But and so that's kind of how it started. Like I would buy a bottle. Let's call it Evan Williams bottled in bond, right? It's a really great whiskey for $15, right? I would have that, and then I would do a side by side, or even back then, I would drink two different whiskeys side by side. Maybe not in the same time, but like one after the other. And like in my head, okay, this one has more caramel. This one has more oak. This one, all the things that we do, right? To turn into the whiskey nerds. And of course, I was watching a lot of Whiskey Tube, and then once I went to the whiskey sommelier programs, which this is years later, I really started to get into the delicacy of whiskey, both in flavor and in acquiring. Because once you have whiskey, there's a synapses, and this is a mental thing that people do. They say, "Oh, so I like Evan Williams bottled in bond. I want to try Evan Williams, just the regular. Okay, now I want to try the single barrel. Now I want to try this," because every distillery has a different SKU, right? Has a different bottle that is different. They are different. Some of them say it's the same juice. Let that be what it is. I don't know. I don't know and don't care. You pour me a Blanton's, you pour me an E.H. Taylor right next to each other. They might taste exactly the same, or they might not. Supposedly they're different, but it's the same mash bill going into different barrels, different parts of the rick house, right? So it's kind of the same, but it's kind of not, right? And different ages, and I get it. We're not talking about that. So, okay. So here's the difference, and then we'll get into the first sample. Here's the difference between a collector and a hoarder, or a obsessive person about whiskey. A collector, and if I am not pinpointing one person, right? If anything, I'm pointing the finger at myself. So just understand that. Just understand that I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not saying anything. You do what you got to do. If you have the, we're going to get into this part as well. If you have the monetary means to buy whiskey, and you can still pay your bills, you can still do all the things, your kids are schooling and doing the things, then you're a grown person. You can do whatever you want with your money, right? The difference is when you buy 10 of the same bottle, right? And you're never going to open them. You're never going to drink them. You just have them for the clout to say, I have a row of whatever. Like, I don't, it doesn't matter. I've seen like YouTube videos of people that have rows and rows of, old Rip Van Winkle Lot B, right? They'll have 8 of them in a row, and they think it's clout. Actually, it's sad is what it is. Now, would I want to try that? Would I want to have a bottle of said that? Yeah, sure, whatever. But like that's where I think the line is drawn between collecting and obsession, or as I call hoarding, right? I know everybody's seen that show it's on Netflix right now, actually. Hoarders, right? Now, let me tell you this. Whiskey collectors or whiskey obsessed people, right? They're not stockpiling empty boxes and craft swaths from crafty things and old Tupperware lids and car parts and shit like that. They're not doing that. But the obsessional part comes in to where you're like, I have to have every whiskey, every one of them. But here's the caveat inside that one as well. And I'm never going to drink of it. I'm never going to drink of it. Drink it. Why did I say it like that? That's weird. I'm never going to drink it. It's the on Chill Filtered, they talk about fear of never drinking again, right? Fear that you have a fear that you're never going to drink it again, especially like a unicorn bottle, a one-off bottle. You paid almost secondary prices for it. It is a showpiece whiskey, right? Like a Pappy or a what is it? What is the one that Cole has? The wood, uh, ancient wood or whatever. E.H. Taylor. Anyway, right? Because those are one-offs. You're never going to find them again. Because every distillery does that. They say we are never going to release this whiskey again. Like the Willet Hurricane, right? You're never going to get that again. It was hazmat, you know. You're never going to get it again. So you fear that you're never going to drink it. So guess what? You never open it. But like I've said many, many times, you could die tomorrow. Lord willing, you're here. Love you. You're good. But you could die tomorrow. And what's going to happen? Your wife or husband or whoever is going to unfortunately sell off that whiskey because they don't know what to do with it. Because you're the only one who finds enjoyment with it. Does that make sense? All right, put a pin in that. We'll come back. Let's get into glass one, which just happens to be the Whiskey Shaman, Glenn. And if you guys in the Patreon who are watching this, you guys already have this Glenn. But if anybody else would like to have a Glencairn or a challenge coin, hold on, let me get the challenge coin. Hit me up, whiskeyshamanpodcast@gmail.com. I can ship them straight to you. I'm working on pricing of them, but the Glens I think they're like 15 a piece, something like that. $30, 40, whatever, plus shipping, obviously. And if you're in like Canada or something like that, it might be a little bit more. All right, let's get it on the glass one, and I'm going to rate it just like I would normally rate the thing for Germs Challenge. So. Okay, it smells a little proofy. I'm going to put rye, obviously. I'm going to put new oak, obviously. I'm going to put straight rye and new oak. But is it finished? Does it have a finish on it? Does it have something in it that gives it other qualities other than just a straight rye whiskey, right? Because straight rye whiskey is just that. It's just rye whiskey, no finish, no anything. So let's get into it. Ooh. Did you hear that in my throat? That's proofy. That's a proofy gal. Ooh, but it has a really nice velvety texture. I'm going to put the proof at 115 for basic proof. And then I don't think it's finished. I think it's just new oak. I don't know. It might be. And what's really cool, I don't know. I have no idea what this is. But once we get done, I'll release it to you. I'm not going to do all four of them and then release it. That way it'll give us kind of a intermission between talking about this, because this topic that we're talking about, it can hurt some feelings or it can make you feel away, because we're going to get into mental health. We're going to get into some things of, like maybe you ain't got the money for it, bro. Maybe you need to freaking pump the brakes. Anyway, I'm still talking about it when I should be talking about this. All right, I'm going for one more sip. It's really nice. It's coating. It's still lingering, even though I'm talking, which, as you guys well know, normally that doesn't happen. Normally it washes out pretty easy. Mm-hmm. Is it finished? And it has like a sweetness to it. It has a sweetness to it. I'm going to say, new and used on the top, and then new and rum finished. Proof, for exact proof, I'm going to do 118. All right, bottle. I don't know. Okay. Brian lives in Tucson, so he has availability to different whiskeys than I do. He has a pretty big collection, not obsession. From what I've seen in his background, right? All my background is empty bottles, bottles I've already killed. And those are now just the cool bottles that I keep just because it's like a one-off or something like that. Distillery. I don't think it's the Sentinel, which is Del Bach's rye whiskey. I don't think it's that because the finish is finished in the barrels that Del Bach was in. So it's a little smoky almost. I don't think it's that. I am going to put distillery. Heaven Hill. Okay. Bottle. I know this isn't finished. No, the proof is higher. Actually, I'm going to change my distiller guess to Jim Beam. And then my bottle will be Knob Creek rye, obviously. Knob Creek rye that is finished. I don't know if they do that. So, oh my God. All right, let's see how many points I made on that one. Let me do this. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Wow, that's a great sample though. Excited for that. That's cool. I'm glad I only poured a little bit. It is none other than you can't read it. It is none other than the Thomas H. Handy 2024. 127.2 proof. So I got the only points. The only points. I should have put Buffalo Trace. The only points that I got were the points for rye. I got 2 points. Oh my gosh. I got the 2 rye points. That's it. Which I already knew those. Because it wasn't finished. It was very sweet. I thought it was finished. And 118 was super low. All right. That was interesting. Wow. Thank you. Wow. I feel okay. There is a joy that you find with the collector finding a rare or unique whiskey, right? And then as you guys well know, in what I'm doing, this podcast and things like that, I'm finding very cool backstories and very cool like things, very cool like history. And I used to hate history, right? But now I'm digging into history, like the history of rye, for instance. There's a little drip of that handy left. I'm gonna drink it. And then we'll get into the next one. But and it tastes finished, bro. It really does. Anyway, sorry. There's something about the nostalgia of whiskey and collecting. Like once you get so far into collecting whiskeys, you want to try and get older age statement whiskeys. Not older age statement like 20 year or something like that, but you want to get like what we call dusties. And that just changes the game a little bit. It changes the way that we do things. It changes the fact of now we're not seeking out the unicorns. We're seeking out for instance, in this bottle that's right here behind me, it says Still Austin on it, but it is actually the remnants of a 1983 Wild Turkey 101 decanter. There's that much left in the bottle. I've sampled 99% of it out. I've had a couple sips out of it. It's really good. Little oxidized, obviously, for being 40 something years old. Little oxidized, but super cool. And here's the coolest part about that whole thing. I didn't pay for it. I got it. I stole it. No, I didn't steal it. Come on, I do not condone stealing. No, it was gifted to me. I think I've already said that on a past podcast, so go listen to that one. I don't remember which one it was. Okay, and here's the other thing that I wrote down that I don't know if people do this a lot or okay, they do because I just released a while back the Weller lineup. I did not a review, a blind of the entire Weller lineup, not the Daniel or the Millennium, obviously. But it did have the WLW, and I have been trying to get what we would call the rainbow, or what they call a vertical, of all of those said bottles. The only one I could not get was the single barrel. Just couldn't get it. I even went to a site or a Facebook group that it's kind of like I don't know how they do it legally. It's kind of like a lottery system where you Venmo numbers, you Venmo and you pick numbers, and they're like the buy-in on it is $20, $30, whatever. And then you buy numbers, and then it goes from 0 to 10, right? And then the fire number on the lottery is the number that wins. So I've even done that a little bit. I don't like doing it anymore so much because I've lost quite a bit. And I'm like, I'm not wasting $20, $30, whatever it is. Some of them are cheaper. Some of them are 15, whatever. It's just like wasting money to me now, unless you can win, obviously. So yeah, I go after those strange and unique, but it's also like having a purpose with collection, right? Let's say you want to get all of the Weller lineup, or you want to get all of the BTAC lineup, right? You're seeking out one particular whiskey to complete a set. Yes, that is a little bit obsessive, right? But also I understand it. Like it feels like a set, though it's an incomplete set. And this goes for everything in life, but obviously we're whiskey, so we're talking about the whiskey part of it. But like people collect baseball cards. I'm sorry. Stop. Pokemon cards, and we're going to get into that. People collect figurines, comic books, all the nerdy things out there. There's things out there that, people just collect weird things like toenails. And anyway, that gets back into hoarders. But anyway, so like it's not so much. And here's the main difference, I guess, between collecting and obsessing about is collecting is you have it displayed, you have it open, you have it ready for anybody who wants to try it, sample it. You're very willing to open bottles and do all the things, right? And showcase like, this is cool, you need to try this. Whereas when you're more obsessive or hoarding, you don't want to open the whiskey. You want to sit on it. You want to take it. You want to wait for whatever reason. There's a reason, right? There's a reason you're waiting to open it. And it could be for a good reason, right? Like, I'm going to open this bottle when my daughter graduates high school or college or whatever. When my son becomes legal age, we're going to pop this whiskey open, right? That's cool. I'm not saying that. Don't do that, right? But don't have your entire portfolio of whiskey turn into that, to where like, I can't open this bottle because it's for this reason. Well, guess what? That reason could never come, right? That reason could never come. In the past months, I will say, I've opened more whiskey than I have in the past years. And why is that? And I'll tell you. I keep having to adjust, man. Let me see if I can do this. Let me just check. You see that? I just moved my chair. Just moved my chair up to where my legs aren't in my. Anyway, I'm a dummy. Where was I? So I don't want to call anybody out or say anything. You are a grown person. Do what you want with the whiskey, however you want to do it. If you don't want to drink it, don't drink it. I don't care. And I understand keeping a whiskey for a special purpose or a special time or something like that. Or you're like, hey, I could trade this or sell this, or this is worth money. I'm like, it's not worth money to anybody unless you actually do the thing you say you're going to do. Now, what you're doing is you're just hoarding it. It's taking up space in your house. The cork is drying out, blah, 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 blah. All the things that you just open a damn whiskey and drink it and enjoy it, or say, that's crap, whatever. I think that's kind of where all of this came from. And going back to what I was trying to say earlier, at the beginning of the year, I told myself I was going to try not to buy whiskey this year. Now, here's the deal, and I'm going to put a pin in that and caveat that again. I did buy whiskey this year, but it was a distillery exclusive from Andalusia so far. And I paid for half a bottle, or 40 something dollars, for a bottle that I couldn't get. We did a trade. My trade was lower than what I was looking for, so I paid the difference, right? I traded whiskey, so I didn't really buy it. And here's the thing. As you guys well know, Lost Lantern, those guys are doing amazing stuff. And I might want to pick up a bottle. They have 2 bottles in the spring collection that I'm like, that looks good. Andalusia, finished in tequila barrels, which I have the mezcal barrel finished. It might be the same. It might not. But this one is at cask strength, obviously. And Santa Fe Spirits, no longer Cole Keegan, with their apple brandy finished. Yeah. So I might be breaking my rule, but here's the thing. I'm going to open them, enjoy them, and have a good time. And I've been able to a little bit, and I'm saying a very little bit, with help from the Patreon and with help from kind of buttoning down quite a bit. I canceled. Oh, I can tell you that story too, but we're not going to go there. I canceled everything, like even the Xbox Game Pass for my kids, because I'm like, dude, I'm not paying $20 a month for you to use it once every 3 months, right? It's like, it's not worth it. So we're just kind of recouping, right? And so now the expenditures and, work's been great. So like now I have a little bit extra for somewhat of a whiskey budget. But here's the deal. So for the past 3.5 months, or 3 months, whatever it is, I haven't bought whiskey other than at Andalusia, obviously. So I open the bottles that I have, and I've been graciously given bottles from distilleries and stuff like that. So I just go through those. I just open. They're already open, right? So the FOMO, or the fear of not having it again, is gone because it's already open. But the cool thing is I get to sit down with that distiller or that head blender or that marketing manager or whoever it is that's on the show with me, and we get to go over it. And that to me is way cooler than me sitting in the house drinking it by myself, right? Or even having somebody over. They're not going to really want. They're going to want some blends, like I talked about on the last podcast, right? They're going to want some blends. They're not going to want your weirdo old Dominic or whatever. Just to let you guys know, I don't know if I told you this on the last podcast. The old Dominic coupon code is still rocking and rolling. So go to the pinned website down below and use Whiskey Shaman 25 to get you a fat discount. I don't know how fat it is, but pretty fat discount. So let's move on. The next marker in my thing was the gotta catch 'em all trap. Okay, so we were talking about Pokemon, right? So in my young years, when Pokemon had just came out, I bought Pokemon cards and I kept them, and they're in a binder. And I think it's not the first editions, which sucks. It really does, because collectors know that first editions of anything are going to go skyrocket. They were the second or maybe even third edition. It was like 99 when I got them. Some of y'all weren't even born then, right? It was like 99 when I bought them, maybe 98. And bought a whole box, got the Charizard and all the things. Because back then, every box had a Charizard in it, and a Blastoise, and a Venusaur. No, Ivysaur. Venusaur. They had all of those holographic in every box. So you knew you were going to get one. or you were hoping. But now they're so randomized that you could buy 2 boxes of Pokemon cards now, and you don't know what you're going to get, which sucks. It pisses me off, kind of. Anyway, we're not talking about Pokemon, but this is the same thing. The dopamine hit of acquiring your new bottle. I get it all the freaking time, dude. All the time. You know why? Because somebody, here, I'm going to show you this right here. I got a bag. I got 2 phones. No, this is a bag of samples that was sent to me by Germ from Freedom Malts, along with a bottle. Yeah, actually, he sent over a bottle. He just passed over 1,000 followers on Instagram, and he did a giveaway, and I just happened to win that giveaway, and it was a really nice Cedar Ridge. That was the brandy trifecta. Yeah, apple brandy, apricot brandy, and pear brandy finished. Oh man, it's light, crispy, super foot. And guess what? Opened it that night as soon as I got it, which was last night. I'm recording this way early. This episode's actually like 2 weeks or a week earlier than I would normally do it. But I had some time, and I was like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and do it. Let's get into the next blind, and then let's finish the Pokemon thing before we do that, because I've got pages to go in them. The FOMO and the hype culture in the whiskey, right? The fear of missing out. You see it all the time. If you watch Whiskey Tube or anything like that, there's people that have these brand new bottles, right, that are coming out, and they're so cool. Still Austin constantly releases these rare stock bottles and blah blah blah, and you're like, ooh, I like that. That'd be good in my belly. But guess what? You ain't never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. No, you might get it. You might win it or whatever. They started and found North for another one. They're doing a lottery system now, which I think is cool. But if you don't win a bottle, you don't win a bottle. So you have that FOMO. But luckily, I got cool friends that send me over samples. But that Hoverhawk, that was banging. I need a sample of the Peregrine 2.0 if you guys have any. But it's the FOMO. You feel like you're missing out when other people are saying how amazing this whiskey is, and you need to try it. You got to have it. That was the big hype with the Still Austin Tanninger, right? Everybody's like, oh my God, this whiskey. Oh no, dude, this whiskey's so rad. I don't know who's saying that, but and then I got a sample of it, and I was like, dude, it's good. I did a whole video on it, right? It's good. Is it the best whiskey? Is it the Texas Pappy? No, I don't think so. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. Would I pay $250 for it? Nope. That's just me, though. And this is the third little bullet point in that, how social media fuels the whiskey hoarding. Because they're like, dude, you're missing out. You're missing out. Go buy this whiskey now. Hey, I just did it. I said, go to Old Dominic and pick up a bottle. I literally just did it. Because we're so inundated with people telling us to buy more, obsessed, get freaky about it. Buy 800 bottles, don't feed your kids. You're fine. They'll be fine. They can drink whiskey too. No, that's not life. Life is what's outside that, right? Life is what's outside the social media and the Instagrams and the TikTokies and the stuff like that. Life is outside that. You can't vicariously, using big words now, you can't vicariously live through someone else's dream. You know what I mean? And that's one of the cool things about me doing this show that has taught me. People are vibing with what I'm saying, which I love. The viewership has been great. It's been knocking it out. Right around Christmas, it was low, obviously, because people are doing stuff. But the past couple of episodes have been banging, dude, banging. Which I'm excited, right? But I'm not going to let it get to my head, right? I'm no Joe Rogan over here. I don't want to be, right? I don't want to be that dude. Because guess what? He's constricted to his platform. Whereas I'm not going to. If I want to not do an episode, I won't do a freaking episode. But I haven't. And I don't think I'm going to. Because I got a backlog of freaking episodes to put out. Besides these, I like to keep these fresh. A little fresher than some of the other ones. The video episodes I can backlog because it's recorded history, right? But these are somewhat timely sometimes. Like the one I did about the chili cook-off and going to do Texas Whiskey Fest blind judging and stuff like that. If I'd say it a month or two later, it's like, dude, you did that like 3 months ago. Like, so who gives a crap, right? It's a little more relevant talk, and it keeps us up to date with what's going on, right? But I will tell you, going to social media, you see people picking up these freaking bottles that I know I'll never get. Do I get FOMO? At first I did. At first I did. And I think it's just a growth thing, like growing through that and being like, I don't have to have that. But guess what? I get people that send me samples all the time. I've got more samples over here behind my shoulder than I can shake a stick at. You know, I'm never going to drink through all those. I mean, I am. You know, like I did the 2XO tasting. Not because I wanted to, but I was like, dude, I need to get through these. Like, I need to for the people like Brian, who sent this blind over. I don't want their whiskey to be sitting in glass for 3 months before I even look at it, right? I want to do something with it because they took the time, money, and energy to send that to me. I want to be pretty responsive with it. So social media really hinders, I feel. It pushes, but it hinders as well the whiskey industry. It pushes you to buy. Click that link down below, you know, go get you a bottle. I said it. I did. But also it's in your face 24/7, in your face. And I don't like that. I turn my phone off. Well, I don't turn it off, you know, but like I won't get on there unless I'm posting something. And I post weird stuff, you know, like I don't always post, you need to go buy this bottle. I'm like, no, you don't have to. I'm just like, this one's cool. You might like this. And I repost other people's stuff that have been on the show and people that I like and people that have befriended me. And I'm going to return the favor because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be stewards, right? Stewards of whiskey, not holding it over people's heads and not saying, I have this, you're never going to have it. Because I don't like that. I just don't like that. It turns into obsessive behavior is what it turns into. Stopping right there because I have a line. I'm going to actually write on the paperwork so I know where, because we're fixing to get into the not bad, but the other parts of this that could ruffle some feathers, bro. All right. This one is obviously going to be a rye. I at least got 2 points, right? All right, let's get in on the proof. This one is in this is the special edition chill filtered glass, which I want to do stuff like that. I want to do stuff like special edition Glencairns, or I'm thinking about stickers, you know, like, because you can do stickers for pretty cheap, doing like special edition stickers for a certain episode, like the 150th episode, you know, have this special sticker that goes out when you get a sample from me, or I need to do another live stream as well. Hopefully by the time this one comes out, I will have already done it. I'm looking forward to it because that's another good way to get rid of bottles, right? Bottles that I've had. Like I opened one on the live stream. It was from 2021. I hadn't even touched it. Like, bro, why did you buy it? It's cool. It was a Balcones blue corn or red corn, something like that. Bourbon, which I don't think they even do anymore. All right, let's get into this one. The nose is different, obviously, than the other one. Man, it's pretty dingy, ethanol dingy as well. Let's see. Whoa, that got cinnamon. It's not finished. I know it's not finished. It's new. And new. It's not finished at all. Proof, I'm going to do 120 on the standard proof, and on the exact proof, I'm going to do 121.2. Why? I don't know. Bottle and distillery. Man, that's proofy. Wow. That doesn't taste like the other one. It does have a bit of minerality to it. So I'm going to do distillery as Willet. And I'm going to do the family estate. 4-year. I am writing this down just for my sake. Okay. Let's get into it. This is the number 2. Let's go. Oh, wow. I can't read that. I'm sorry, Brian. Let me. Oh, I thought it said Redwood Empire, but it doesn't. It says Redemption. Sorry, not that I couldn't read your writing. It's just I can't read. That's, no offense. I can't read. So this is Redemption Rye, 10-year-old, 116.2. Okay. So did not get that. Did not get that. And did not get that. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 on that one. We're doing better. I guess we're doing better. All right, I'm gonna flip the page. I got 2 more to do. It's good. Type proof cask. Type proof cask bottle distillery. Type proof cask. Sorry. I can't do 2 things at once. You guys know that already. We've been already on it for 41 minutes. How is this going on? How are you still listening? Okay, let's get into this part. When does collecting become a problem? Let's get into it. It can and does and should. I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I am not a financial advisor. If you have tons of money, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. But most of us do not have tons of money, but we like tons of whiskey. So therein lies a problem. Financial strain, spending beyond your means. That's the very first one. When it is not financially appropriate for you to buy whiskey, then don't do it. If you can't afford it, if you can't just go, not even look in your bank account, that's a big one. Do not look in your bank account and go buy it. Then you, if you know without the shadow of a doubt that you have enough to buy that bottle and it will not financially strain your account, then by all means, you're a grown man, grown woman, whatever, living your life. But I don't view it like that as well. And the second one is hoarding versus curating. Do you drink and enjoy or just stockpile? And that's what I was talking about earlier with those people that they just stockpile. They have 8, 10 bottles of the same thing. Like, why? You need variety in your life. Man cannot live on bread alone. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do have backup bottles for some things. One or two of them was by accident. Actually, I purchased a bottle and then was given a bottle of the same thing. So I'm like, okay, now I got a backup. Great. Which could be a bottle that I give away, right? That's the thing. Again, can't take it with you, right? What is the point of you having an extra bottle of it if you haven't even drank the bottle that's in front of it, right? So just understand that. The emotional impact. Does collecting whiskey bring you joy or stress? Do you ever walk into the liquor store and you're looking for said bottle? Whatever. What would I be looking for if I went into the liquor store today? I would be looking for Texas for one, but I would be looking for, let's say, the Still Austin Bald and Bond High Rye, the 5-year, because I don't have that one. Or the Blue Corn. I didn't pick up the Blue Corn either. The 5-year. I got the other one, just not the 5-year. Do I need the 5-year and the 4-year? No. But let's say I was looking for that bottle. And I walk through the liquor store. Specs, Total Wine, pinkies, goody goody, whatever, walking through there, doing my thing. I don't find it. Does that make me feel stressed? Do I feel like empty inside? Or am I like, hey, they don't have that, but they have this. It's cool. This is kind of cool and different. It's cheaper. You can do that. You can do that. It's, yeah. Okay. Now let's get into mental health. Okay. 45 minutes in. The psychology of collecting. Why do we do it? Why do you collect things? Why it just anything? And obviously we're talking whiskey, but like, why would you collect that? Or are you obsessing about it? Are you thinking about it all the time? Thinking about where you need to put the next thing in your portfolio? You know what I mean? Or is it like, that's cool, I like that, and move on? It's real easy when you're collecting things to get overwhelmed and for it to turn into a stumbling block for you to where you're like, I can't do that. I got to dust off my whiskey bottles. I can't go to work. Whatever. I don't know. That's an extreme thing, but you know what I mean? Putting it before other things. You know what I mean? Putting your collecting, like making it a point. And people do this all the time. And again, this is not me judging one person, okay? It's content. I get it. They're out with their families and they're doing family things. And then next thing you know, they're at the liquor store doing a haul or doing a hunt. And that's cool. I like hunting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything, right? But like, it gives good content. The hunting videos actually are high in the markers of watched because people have that FOMO or that, you know, they live vicariously through you. When you're putting something out there, people are saying, man, he's drinking a good whiskey. I'd like to drink that whiskey. That's how all people are. So when they do these hunting videos, not hunting with a rifle, you're hunting with a credit card. And you're trying to find a cool bottle. You're trying to find something different, interesting, unique. But sometimes, and I've done it, and I'm pointing to myself, we'll go somewhere and that's all I want to do is go hunting multiple times, multiple different stores. I locate stores in the area where we're at so I can go hunting, drop my wife off at the thing so she can go to the mall or whatever, and I go hunting. Okay, that's fine. But also, there is something to say with being with your family and being with the people you love, hanging out with them, doing that thing, not letting whiskey take the front seat. Whiskey needs to go in the trunk is where it needs to go. And I'm not just saying legally, but whatever. I mean, it should not be the thing you talk about. And unfortunately and unfortunately for me, that is what people talk to me about is whiskey because that's the dude. But I am way more than just a glass of whiskey or a bottle of whiskey or a whiskey podcast or a whiskey YouTube and a whiskey thingy and a sommelier and a thing. Yes, I enjoy that. This is for me. The whiskey is for me, right? And I know things. I drink whiskey and I know things, right? But it's not my life. It doesn't make me who I am, right? I am the man, right? I am who I am. Like Popeye, I guess. Anyway, I am who I am, not because of the whiskey. The whiskey has made me a better speaker. Not drinking the whiskey doesn't, no. But being in the whiskey community has made me a better speaker. It's made me easier to approach. It's made me easier to go out and do things. It's made me more social. But the negative connotations of it, I don't know. Where do they lead? The emotional impact. Does collecting bring you joy or stress? Are you stressed when you can't find the bottle you're looking for? And then when you walk into your whiskey room or your closet or you're hiding it under the bed or whatever you're doing with it, does it bring you joy? to know that, like, hey, I've done quite a bit. I've done well for myself in the whiskey realm. Or are you stressed because, damn it, I couldn't find that Weller single barrel? Sucks. I don't know. What do you think? So number 6 in the list is finding balance, right? We have to find balance. You can set up a purpose for your collection, specific themes, personal favorites, which is what I do. I have specific themes. I have some of the most expensive headphones on, right? And they hurt my ears. I don't know what to tell you. I set up themes. I have different categories, right? And I'm like, this is craft. This is craft American single malt. This is craft bourbon. This is Texas only. Showcasing just those to where when people come into my whiskey room, it's not done yet, guys. I'm sorry. It's expensive to build shelving. I've got it all recorded on my phone. Don't worry. When we get done with it, I will have a long montage video implanted somewhere, right? You know, you use like, you have to be like, this is one of my favorites. You're showcasing specific whiskey. And that's what I've started to do with my collection. Like when, let's say I have a podcast coming out and it's Old Dominic. They just were on my head. Whenever I do the podcast with Old Dominic or do the review or the Sunday deep dive or whatever, I will have that said bottle on the bar, right? To where that's the showcase, the focal point of the whiskey room. And I feel like that's how I do it. You do it however you want to do it. But also budgeting, setting limits for yourself. You know what I mean? Saying, I am only going to give myself $50 a week or $100 a week or a month or a yearly budget or whatever. And I know it's all going to be different, right? Hold on, I need some water. Oh man, good water. Every person's budget is different. So even if you can only budget $20 a week or $20 a month, even budget that accordingly and be like, hey, I know, like I was saying, I know that Lost Lantern is fixing to come out with a release, or by the time this comes out, they might have already. And I might want to pick up a bottle or two. Let's save back some money for that. So it's not a financial strain on me, on my family to buy this. I would rather not get whiskey now to get whiskey later because that's the whiskey I want. Instead of going to the liquor store and settling for whiskey that might not be the exact whiskey that you want. Does that make sense? Okay. A cool thing that we could do as a community, as a whiskey community, is what is your collecting experience? How do you go about collecting whiskey? Where do you start? How do you go about collecting? Do you budget yourself? Do you just save up a little money, or is it just on a whim? You go to the liquor store, there's a cool bottle, you buy it, and you just have enough money to. You say, hey, my budget anytime I go to the liquor store is under $200 or whatever. You know you have $200 of expendable cash to throw down if the bottle arises. Is it just that? And also, I want to encourage you to like reflect on your own habits. I reflect on mine all the time. And sometimes I'm like, oh God, why did I pick up that bottle? Why did I do that? I didn't really want that. Or whatever, you know. Yeah. So just words for thought. Before we get into the next thing, we're going to get into our next whiskey. How about that? So this is a rye whiskey, obviously. So I'm going to put rye, and it is probably new oak. Makes it that much easier, right? Doesn't it? Rye, new oak. Okay. This one's pretty dark, actually. Ooh. That's fairly creamy. A little perfumey, too. Let's get it on the taste. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Proof. 115. Actual proof. 112. Let me go down a little bit. It is the rye. I am going to do distillery. You ready? Adventurous Stills. And the bottle, the Flying Dutchman, which is a rye whiskey, obviously. And there's a note in there, which is cocoa mixed with green grass. And I have had that whiskey, the Flying Dutchman, once before, and it was cocoa with green grass. Memory sparked it. Let's see if I got it. Rye blind number 3. Let's go. Oh my God, no. Oh my God. That's cool though. Wow. Guess what it is? No, you don't have to guess. It's Driftless Glen, single barrel rye, 8+ years, 122 proof. Whoa. Hot mamas all night, all day. Okay, so I got 4 again. I suck. It's freaking good though. That's weird. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm such a pig. I knew that profile, right? I knew it. I just didn't pick the right one. I need a little more work on the driftless, I guess. Okay. How the industry fuels obsession. Limited editions, single barrels, store picks, and constant new releases create a sense of urgency that makes collectors feel like they have to buy now or miss it forever. That's just what we were talking about, right? Brands drop endless new variants, even unnecessary ones, to keep their collectors chasing. Who is the world's worst at this? I'll give you one answer. Ardbeg. Ardbeg is the world's worst at this exact thing. They have, during 2020, during COVID, right? They probably released 6 or 7 different SKUs in 1 year. They had grooves and what was the other one? Lord, there was Hypernova, Supernova. This is Nova. That's a Nova. The Enigma. There's all these. I'm looking. I have grooves. I actually bought grooves. I thought it was actually pretty good. It was in some sort of different cask. Oh, our big drum, which was like rum finished, which, fine. Yeah, that's cool. But it's 3-year-old or 4-year-old Ardbeg that is put in a finishing cask. That's all it is. And they do it over and over and over and over and over again. And they flood the market. But as a whiskey geek, you're like, I got to catch them all. Right. And it sucks. With so many options, do people even enjoy what they buy? Or are they just always chasing the next big thing? Do you sit down and enjoy the whiskey? Like I sit down and enjoy this Driftless Glen single barrel rye. You guys don't even know about that, right? Or are you just so worried about the next whiskey you need to get? No, hopefully not, right? Speaking of that, I got a package from a future distillery that's coming on the podcast. And it was a sample pack, and it was in a really ornate box. And as soon as I opened the box, I smelled something. I was like, oh, God. Yeah. What did I smell? I smelled whiskey is what I smelled. And it's not good when you get a package and you smell whiskey when you open it. So there was a really ornate box with these really cool, like, sample bottles that were, like, made just for them. 2 of the samples were completely broken. Yeah. I was crushed. I was literally crushed because I was like, for one, it smelled absolutely fantastic. Like I was sitting there smelling the box, like, oh yeah. But at the same time, I was like, man, this sucks because like I want to go through this whiskey with the distillery, right? And so I emailed them like I would, and took a picture of it, emailed them, and was like, hey, FYI, 2 of the samples broke. And I've sent stuff to people, hand delivered, of course, to people that they, stuff broke in there. Glen Cairns are broke, stuff like that. Stuff breaks. The delivery services out there are not. I don't want to say they're not the best because they're trying. They're overworked, and so sometimes packages get thrown around, unfortunately. So I emailed them, said the thing, and I was like, hey, you don't have to send more, right? We can work with what we have here. I just wanted to let you know that because I don't want to be like the guy's like, hey, this sucks. Give me some more whiskey, give me some more free whiskey. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be that guy, right? I want to be like, dude, this sucks. I'm sorry on both of our sides. I'm sorry that this happened. And I'm also sorry that like I don't get to try your cool whiskey, right? That sucks. So they emailed back pretty promptly, which I was like, oh, that's cool. They emailed back and they were like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened. That's the second time in 10 years that's happened. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll be that guy then, the guy that the package breaks from. And it was well packaged. It's not like it wasn't packaged well and stuff. But anyway, the Patreon I'll put up a thing and you'll know exactly who that said distillery was. Anyway, they're sending another sample pack, so I might have extra whiskey. I don't know. We'll see. So, also the secondary market. Let's talk about that. Insane markup, flippers, and how bottle becomes more of a status symbol than an actual whiskey. There's something I can say. I'm not going to about flippers and secondary market people. That's shiesty is what that is. Like, I'm not trying to buy a bottle from a distillery or from whatever, blah, 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 and then turn around and make money on it. That's not the point of whiskey. People do it all the time, but it's not cool. Secondary market should not even be a thing, right? If you want it bad enough, you'll pay enough for it. Like William LaRue Weller should not be $1,000 bottle. Nowhere, right? I should never have to pay $1,000 for a whiskey. The most I would spend for a whiskey and have spent for a whiskey is like $250, and that was some limited edition, blah de blah de blah. And even then, I was like, I don't know. Let alone, because some of them you see, and they're not even like that much allocated, right? Like there was a 13th colony, right? $500 and something for a, I don't know, some special release 13 colony. I'm like, what are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? And it's partially the liquor stores doing this because they're like, some dumbass will pay that. And then we'll make 3 times or 4 times what it cost. And I'm like, oh my gosh, whiskey isn't that important to fuck. Oh, sorry. Calm down. Whiskey isn't that important. It's not. It's a catalyst in life. And you need to understand that. Here's the mental side of whiskey collecting. Sorry. I can't read. The dopamine rush of acquiring bottles. Buying bottles can feel like a high, especially when chasing rare bottles. The thrill of the hunt, then the letdown after securing the bottle. After you get it, you're like, now what? And that's the world we live in, unfortunately. I hate to say it like that, and I don't want to go there. But like we are in this instant gratification, dopamine hit type world right now, to where it's like, I need this now. I want this now. And once you have the thing that you wanted, then you're like, well, now what? I want something else because this doesn't fulfill me anymore, because they're fulfilling a hole in their heart with something that shouldn't be there in the first place. And we could talk about that later, obviously. Um, does the chase bring you joy, or are you just feeding into an impulse? When collecting turns into hoarding. Mhm. Hoarding is also often tied to anxiety, or fear of missing out, or fear of loss. Signs of unhealthy collecting. Take these for what they are. Buying more than you could ever drink. And I think that will be any whiskey collector. I can tell you probably 10 or 15 people I know off the top of my head who have more whiskey than they can drink in their life. Even if you had 2 ounces every day for the rest of your life, ain't no way they're going to drink it. And I'm dead serious. I'm one of them. Feeling overwhelmed or stressed by your collection. I don't so much that. Except I need to get my shelves so I can get my other whiskey out of my daughter's room. That's the only thing that's stressful. Struggling to let go of bottles, even ones you don't love. You're like, I don't really even like that bottle that much. The guilt of having unopened bottles once you've had to have it. Yeah, you're like, I have to have this bottle, and then you never open it. You're like, this is going to be great for my collection. And then you're like, oh, I never drank it. Tastes like crap. Feeling pressure to keep up with other collectors. Now, that's a big one right there. That really is. There's people out there that are behind their head is the entire BTAC collection and all the Pappies and all the Blanties and all the this and then that and then this and then that. And I'm like, that's cool, man. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're financially stable. And I love that for you. And I don't wish ill. I don't feel envious or anything about that. Some people do. I'm happy for you. And hopefully you share that whiskey with people. And don't just let it sit there and collect dust. You know what I mean? And the social media trap. Comparing collections instead of enjoying it. What's your bottle count? How much whiskey you got? Well, I have 17,427 whiskeys, categorized into 8 different categories. First, in American single malt, I have 4,622 bottles, of which 2 are open. I'm kidding, right? But there's people like that out there. Finding a healthy balance between your whiskey collecting, obsessing, and something else. This can be a hobby, right? But it can also be a habit. Think about that. Setting up a purpose for your collection, curation or just accumulation. That turns more and more into hoarding, doesn't it? Enjoying the whiskey rather than just stockpiling. Knowing when to step back and appreciate what you already have. Bingo. Step back and appreciate the whiskey that you have. I feel like that's what I've been trying to do for these past couple of months. It's just step back and look at what I have. And I'm like, I'm blessed, very blessed to have this whiskey collection of whiskey to enjoy and to share with friends. And I have given out so many samples to where I probably need to chill so that when I hand deliver them, the UPS guy's not like, hey, why are you hand delivering so many packages that make that when I shake it? When you're hand delivering them. And delivering. Okay. Advice to maintain a healthy whiskey collection. Let's go. I need some more water. Sorry. Set a purpose for your collection. Ask yourself, am I buying to enjoy, to collect meaningful, or just to have more? Is it just that I want every whiskey that distillery has? AKA, I have 17 Andalusias. 18, 19. Sorry. maybe more. Shit, I don't know. Focus on bottles that align with your taste, not just the hype. If you don't like rye whiskey, don't freaking buy rye whiskey, right? Don't buy it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Why are you buying whiskey? Don't buy Thomas H. Handy or Redemption Rye or Driftless Glen Rye if you don't like rye whiskey. If you only like sticky bourbons, guess what? Stick with sticky bourbons. Now, do I want you to go out and try new things? Absolutely. But don't expand a collection of something you don't want. That's called psychotic. Every whiskey that I have, I will drink and have drank. Okay. Create a budget and set limits. Establish a monthly or yearly whiskey budget. Limit impulse buying. If you don't want it to before the hype, do you really need it? Like there's bottles that go out there to get Fred Minnick's top 10 or whatever, and then everybody goes out and buys them, right? You don't need it just because he said he liked it. He's one dude, right? And you don't need it just because I tell you to buy it. You don't need to go to the Texas Whiskey Festival April 12th and taste 40 different distilleries whiskey just because I said to. But you can go to TexasWhiskeyFestival.com and sign up, get you a ticket today. You don't have to. I'm not telling you to. I'm asking you to. Come hang out with me. How you like how I did that there? God, dog. Yeah, their sponsorship went a little longer. I'm letting it go through the festival just because I'm a nice guy. Enjoy and share your whiskey. Open the bottles. Whiskey is meant to be enjoyed, not just displayed. That's going to hurt somebody. Host tastings with your friends. Turn your collection into an experience. Avoid the secondary market trap. Recognize when scarcity is artificially created. Oh my God, who already said that? Ask, is this bottle worth it for me? Or am I just chasing it because I can't have it? Right? Are you chasing for that 10 bottle when you got a bunch of 8s at the house? Here we go. This is the one right here. Take a break. Reassess. If collecting starts to feel like a burden, step back and reflect. Appreciate what you have before moving on. Because the Lord has blessed you with the financial ability to stockpile and even hoard and collect these whiskeys. So sometimes it's good to just take a pause, take a beat, as they say. Take a beat and think about it and be like, okay, do I really need that bottle? Do I really need 6 different plans? No. Do I need this specific one because the number's correct, or it's this the QR, not the QR code, the laser code on it, it says that it might be Russell 15 juice in it. So I bought 8 bottles of Russell's 10 just to get one that could have 15-year-old juice in it. I hear it all day. All right. Before we get into the last section, we're going to do the last whiskey. The last section is how to support whiskey friends who might be struggling. I'm here to help. I don't know if you guys knew that. I'm here to help, and I'm your guide to this whiskey world that was going on that you're listening to. I want to be your guide, but I also want to be your coach, and I want to be your whiskey papa. No, I want to be very organic about this, and I want you guys to know that, like, I truly care about the whiskey. I care about how the whiskey's made and how we approach the whiskey and how we drink the whiskey and all the things, right? But at the end of the day, the whiskey does not matter at all. And I love it. And I cherish it. And it's a blessing in my life. But if it ever becomes a burden, it's done. It's done. And that's how it should be with all of us. So if anyone out there is struggling with either addiction, having too much, right? Having too much and just spending way too much money on whiskey and just trying to collect and being obsessive about it, reach out to me, right? Reach out to me. I'll help you. I'll talk you through it. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not. I'm a whiskey dude who knows things, but I have life experience as well. Coming from a family of addiction, coming from people who I know who are hoarders, right? Coming from that, I can help navigate that for you. I'm not going to say it'll be successful. I can't guarantee success, but what I can guarantee is that our conversation will be uplifting and you will feel blessed by the end of it. I can guarantee that. I'll pray for you. I'll pray with you. I'll pray upon you. I'll lay hands on you. I don't care. I'm here to help. That's what I'm here to do. And if you need that, if you need someone, Whiskey Shaman Podcast at Gmail. And I will gladly, I'll give you my phone number and I'll call you. I'm not going to do it on here, obviously. You can call me and we can talk. I've talked to a number of people in the community, both whiskey and home distilling and stuff like that. I go in a lot of different ways, right? I do. I support Jesse with Still It, who is a home distiller out of New Zealand, and I'm his moderator, right? And so people asking me distilling questions all the time. Even though it is 100% illegal in the United States, they're still asking me these questions about mash temps and blah, 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 blah. And some of those same people ask me spiritual advice because they know they know that I'm very open about it. And I love that. And that's my whole goal in doing this podcast and doing everything that I do is to research and bring forth information, not only about whiskey, but about life and about getting through this hard life together. And if we can share a dram, even better. But it's not about the whiskey, right? It's about you becoming the best person that you are and me becoming the best person I am. And it's work. It's work in progress, obviously. Till the day we die, we're working on it. But just know that you are blessed and highly favored in the eyes of God. Moving on. Let's get into this whiskey. Yeah, that was my little tiff. I'm sorry. Ooh, that was strong. This one's the darkest by far. It smells nice though. Caramel, molasses, brown sugar, bang. Ooh, that was hot. Hot on the end. It's dark, almost double oaked. Tastes like a little waxy. Wax lips. Wax root beer. The root beer bottles that are waxing. You bite them. Wow, that's okay. So we know it's a rye. We know it's. Is it finished? I'm gonna put new proof. Let's go back for proof. It's stinging. All of the others have been hot, or high proof. I think the lowest was 118, 115. I'm gonna do 116 on basic proof. I have a 2-point variable on that one. I'm going to do 117 on actual proof. Bottle, distillery, I'm going to say Sagamore. And then the Sagamore double oak. That is considered a finish. So for exact casking, I'm going to do new and then new. Does that make sense? New and then new again. All right. Let's see if I was close. I don't know what it is, but now this is not the double oak, but it is in fact Sagamore. So I bagged the distillery. It is 9 years, which that doesn't matter. It is a rye. 112. Wow. It drank hotter than that. 112. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 on that one. I did better. Yeah. I did better. I can't thank you, Brian, from the old Chill Filter podcast for sending me over this blind. It was amazing. Thank you very much. And there were some bangers in there. All of them were bangers. I'm going to love to sit down with these. I've still got a little bit of the Sagamore left. I don't get into Sagamore too much, man. I really don't. I've bought 2 bottles of Sagamore. I had their basic bourbon, and then I had a single barrel. I don't think it was a rye. I think it was a bourbon, and that was before they started making their own juice. So it was just I don't know if they were blending theirs into it. I don't remember. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm not going to keep you much longer. We're going to get into this last one, and then I got to peace out because I got to go wake my wife up. She had a headache. She had to go lay down, take a nap. You know, it's stressful being the shaman's wife. You know what I mean? Stressful out there. Raising kids. My daughter's fixing to go to Washington, D.C. next week on a class trip. I'm not going. I wanted to go, but they won't let me into Washington, D.C. I have a restraining order. So I can't be that close to people of that influence. Unfortunately, domestic terrorist, I think is what they said. I don't know what they said. Anyway, I can't be around those. I'm joking. I'm joking. I wanted to go, but luckily work has been banging right now, and I need to keep with it so that I can pay for this dang trip that she's going on. So, how to support a whiskey friend who might be struggling. Yeah. And here's the thing, like I said earlier, right before we did the blind sample, we need to have a real conversation. If a friend is overspending or seems to be too stressed out about their collection, please bring it up. And that goes not only for collecting, that goes for drinking, that goes for imbibing, that goes for, if I see you messing up, I'm going to say something. Just understand that. And I would hope that you would do the same for me. Encourage sharing and enjoyment. Invite them to a tasting. I promise I haven't drank that much whiskey, maybe half an ounce the whole time. Remind them that whiskey is for drinking. Be the voice of reason. If they are caught up in FOMO, help them take a step back. And then here's the big one. And this is not to toot my own horn or anything like that. Lead by example. Show them that it's okay to pass on the bottle. Enjoy what you have and not always chasing the next big thing. Because here's the deal, guys, and this is where I'll wrap it up. And I say this all the time. Whiskey's whiskey, and it's there, and it's going to be there, and it's unicorny, and it's fun, and it's great. But guess what? Tomorrow there's going to be a better whiskey. That's what I'm hoping, at least. Tomorrow is better whiskey. I would like for you to be there tomorrow, to meet me with that whiskey. Do you understand what I'm saying? So chasing after today's whiskey isn't always necessary. We need to be happy with what we have. Understand that more doesn't always mean better, both financially, physically, mentally, spiritually. More doesn't, well, spiritually, you could do a lot more, right? But anyway, having more bottles isn't going to fill the void that's in your heart or in your soul. There's only one thing that can fill that, and we're not going to go there. I'm not going to do it. Not today. It's Jesus. I'm just saying, it's Jesus. That's, you need Jesus, not Jersey Mike's. No, not. I can't think of a whiskey with a J name. Widow Jane. That's stupid. Sorry. I was gonna say Jessup's. I think they make Malort. Jim Beam. You need Jesus, not Jim Beam. That's gonna. Okay, the next sticker. You need Jesus, not Jim Beam. It's coming. Let me know in the comments down below if I need to make the sticker that says you need Jesus, not Jim Beam. Oh my God, I can't talk. You need Jesus, not Jim Beam. Oh Lord, if for those of you who have stayed on this long, I appreciate you, and you are the OGs, and I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to my sponsors, Texas Whiskey Festival, Bad Motivator Barrels, and C. Smith Whiskey and Mixology. You guys are banging. You're amazing. Love you. Stay tuned for the podcasts that are coming up because these freaking people are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like, I can't even tell you. Like, how these people are hooking up with me, I don't know. But I love it. I love everything about it. I can't wait to hang out with all of these people. I've got so many lined up. I'm booking into months ahead. I'm excited about it because whiskey is new and whiskey is here and it's happening and you need to be around it. And I appreciate all of you who have been listening, all of you who have followed from the beginning, all of you who are new. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much. Thank you for being here and hanging out with me. I know these episodes are not always what you want to hear, but maybe they are what you need to hear. Okay? Does that make sense? So just understand that. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. If anything, I'm pointing fingers at myself. You know, when you point like that, you got 3 pointing back at you. I personally need to work on my collection and dwindle it down because I'm continuing to gratefully get samples and bottles from distilleries. I would rather very much give you a sample of that than a bottle I bought off the shelf. You know what I mean? This was hand delivered to me from the distillery, or this is a sample that they poured straight from the barrel just for me, just for the podcast. I'd rather give you some of that. And I have. Some of my patrons have got some of that, right? Haven't y'all? It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So thank y'all so much for hanging out, coming on this journey with me, because it is a journey. Whiskey's a journey for sure. But life's beautiful, man. And you got to live it. You can't let your whiskey collection get in the way of life. And you can't let life get in the way of your whiskey. What? No. I'm sorry. When it gets a little awkward, I make stupid jokes, and I'm sorry. No, but I want you guys to be healthy whiskey people, not obsessive, not hoarding, not taking it too far. You know, we all have struggles in life, and I don't want whiskey to be a struggle because whiskey's fun, and we can make it fun. Like doing the blind, just out of the blue. We're going to do a blind. Let's do it because I need to work on my blinds, guys. By the time this comes out, I might have already done the round 4 of the blind sample challenge. Let's go. I'm going against Chelsea Uncharted. I think it's her name. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's going to be a banger. Hopefully I'll win. No, I'm just there for a good time. You know, really, that's all it is. It's not about the street cred. It's not about anything. I've already proved myself. So, yeah, it's fine. I don't care. But it would be nice to win. Obviously, winning is fun. So, I still got 2 more rounds if that's going to happen. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Make sure if you want to get before the episode exclusives and the video of this podcast and all the things that go with that, make sure you go to patreon.com/thewhiskeyshaman and sign up today because you can get this. And I send out samples. You know, all of my new members, if you're a new member coming in and you are a paid member, let me know you are paid so that I can get you some swag. Because that's my way of giving back, because you support monetarily. I want to give back to you. Appreciate you all for being here. Thank you so much. And drink water, please. And until next time, keep your spirits up. Peace out.